What's up? So I don't often do videos, but you know, in light of what we got going on for this Tamiya challenge, I want to show you. I got my TT-02R. So I'm going to start taking things apart to kind of prep the kit for what I want to do. So let's open this up together. I gotta find the razor blade. I should have been more prepared. Give me a second. Let me find it, and we'll get it open. Man. It's funny how when you're looking for stuff, it ain't there. And you ain't looking for it, it just pops up. So maybe if I stop looking for it, maybe it'll show its head. I don't have to use a razor, but yeah, I was just trying to be a little bit more prepared than I am. But yeah, let's just use this MIP. Oh, look at that. MIP can serve a bunch of functions. Best tools out in the market, by the way. That's a plug. Mr. Eustace, you can get at me for a sponsorship. I know I don't do much in the RC world that you probably know of, but listen, we can work. All right, pull that back like a condom after you got done using it. There you go. All right, let's see what we got here. We got the plastic off the kit. How do you open this? Okay, so it's a flat top. There we go. Let's smell it first. Let's smell it. New kit. So the first thing he presents you with are the rubber tires. I'll probably use these for display purposes only. I won't be using them in this build. Next up, you got your plastic kit. It looks like you got some rear hubs. Looks like upper bulkhead covers, diff covers, axles, well, hex nuts. No, not hex nuts, but wheel hexes. I'm stuck. Falling over my words right here. Shock towers, lower suspension mounts. I got some aluminum stuff coming for this, so I probably won't use most of that either. Got some wheels, probably be display purposes. Probably won't use those either. Plastic tub. I'm not using this one. This one is the softer one. I mean, even though it's still pretty stiff, they make a hard version of this that came on the SRX. So for what I want to do, I want to make the chassis pretty stiff. So I'm going to use the SRX chassis on my particular build. Let's see. We got more plastics. We got upper A-arms, lower A-arms. You got, looks like spring retainers for the friction shocks they do have in here. By being an R, we're not going to use the friction shocks out of this either. That's just if you get the regular version of the TT-02, you use the friction shocks. But that's what's special about the R. It comes with a little bit of extra parts that kind of make your build a lot nicer. Like I said, these parts bags probably won't even get opened up. Let's see what we got here. We have radio box, gear cover, battery holder, motor mount, servo, horn, and more wheel hexes. I got an adjustable motor mount coming. Probably won't use these either. I'm definitely not going to use the mount for the fan for the motor, and it also has a switch on it. You know, I'm going to use the upgraded brushless motor. I mean, you can definitely use that if you wanted to make sure you had some cooling. I'm not a person who uses fans on any of my builds, so if it doesn't come on the ESC, it's probably the only thing you'll see a fan on the ESC. All right, so urethane bumper, and we got the goods. This is the bag that makes this kit the R kit. Get rid of that box. All right, let's open this up. Let's crack into this. See what we got in here. All right, got the tape off. Just dump that right on out. Get rid of that plastic bag. Don't need that. So first and foremost, Tamiya kits usually have bushings. I think I got some laying around here. Let's see. I know I had some. Yeah, I got some right here under this pile of parts. So normally this is what they come with. You're gonna be riding on these things. They're okay if you just want to have like a static model, or you're not too serious about trying to make the car go fast. You just want to build a kit. You know, be able to have something that's like a static rolling model. That's dope. For me, we're doing a speed run challenge along with this. You know, so it'll be a best in show. We're gonna do a course race, and we're also gonna do a speed run portion. So I want to have bearings in my car. So this will be an added part that you have to buy. You can get bearings anywhere from $20 to maybe $100, depending on the type you want to run. These are regular standard non-rubber sealed. These are just shielded bearings. If you want to get crazy, you can do ceramic bearings or rubber shields if you wanted to. But I'm going to take these and I'm going to actually clean them out. I don't like running. Like you look in the package, I'm pretty sure you see the grease and the oil, whatever that's in there. That stuff's a little viscous for me. I like to use oils inside of my bearings. So I'm going to clean them out. I'm going to take and clean them out in probably some isopropyl alcohol to break down all the grease that's in it. So I got my bearing cleaning kit. And this is some oil that I use sometimes. Perpetual Motion. This is good. This is Trinity oil. Any kind of bearing oil will work. I also have some stuff in here that smells like horse manure or cow manure. It really smells like poop. It smells bad, but it's awesome stuff. So I got some bearings in this already. This is a PN Racing bearing cleaning kit, or cleaning case. I got some other bearings in here that I just leave in. I'm gonna take those out. You can see it's got to get cleaned out. Like there's a lot of dirt in there, but it has like a little cage on the inside that holds your bearings and allows you to shake them up without having to worry about fishing them out with a magnet. And then I have another one which I have my oil in, so I actually put them back in there. I shake this up. I got to pour a little bit more because the using over time, it used to be full like up to here, but over time of using it, it's been getting lower and lower because the oil is actually getting inside of the bearings. So I'm going to take this out of here and I'm going to fill this up with some new isopropyl. Hey, look at this. Actually, this isn't isopropyl in here right now. This is actually mineral spirits in here. So I want to clean that out. I want to put some new stuff in there. Give me a second so I can dump this stuff out. I do airbrushing too, so I actually have my airbrush cup so you can see the paints are settled. So this is all my disposable stuff that I no longer use. So I store that in there. And we'll take these bearings. I should have put a towel down. Alright. So I just get a towel, dump that. Let's get these bearings in there. You also see I got some bushings in here too. It's probably from another Tamiya build. Like my lady ended up building a kit with me when we first got together. She said she was like interested in what I had going on for a hobby. So I said, well, you know, check it out. We can get you a little Tamiya kit. They're easy to build. And if it's something you like to continue to do, we can keep doing it. But she hasn't built one since. I think she did that just to get me to like her more. But she ain't had the flies for me, you know what I mean? Just be yourself, shorty. Anyway, I'm gonna get my mineral spirits. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna use acetone. I'll use acetone. So I got a big jug of acetone right here. We're gonna use that in lieu of the mineral spirits. I know I have some here, so for like digging it out. This is already accessible. All right, making a mess. I don't understand why they give you these tubes. You gotta use like a funnel or something to be able to pour it. They should have like a little plastic top, like an old school gas can for you, but nah, they won't do that. All right, so I filled it up about there. The first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna tear these out the pack. Can't find my razor, so back to the trusty dusty MIP. Once again, use this more. If you see this video, I'm plugging you. I can keep plugging you. Let me know. All right, so got the basket. See, I got wire mesh on all three sides. You can pour stuff in the top so it doesn't fall out. All right, so I'm not gonna do anything crazy for as taking the bearing races out. I used to do that. And these are probably a little bit different. They're gonna have like a little clip inside of there. So what the clip's gonna do is hold that race, and you can actually get everything out and flush it. I'm not gonna go that crazy with it on this build. I think just putting in the acetone will break the grease down enough to where we can actually do what we need to do. So another tip you can use is ultrasonic cleaner. You can do the same thing with that. Simple Green or something like that, some degreaser you can use. That will also help. But I'm taking my time with this. I don't need anything done like right now. We got like a month to do this. So my main thing right now is going to focus on getting this kit built and getting the kit built to the way I like to have them built, where there's minimal slop, you know, the drivetrain super free, and just having it to be durable. Just because I know in speed running, especially when you first dial in the car, everything doesn't always go to plan. So there may be a couple light crashes. I'm gonna get to the other bag too. I didn't forget about it. I'm just kind of going through like what I would do normally. The first step, I drop the bearing. I I see it. All right, pop that in there. So that's the bearings emptied out. Let's throw that to the side. Don't need that no more. All right, so just drop it in there. Just push it straight down on in. Put the lid on it. All right, you see that was all clean. Give it a shake. Oh man, I gotta tighten it up. Got everywhere. All right, let's see if I got it right this time. All right, here we go. Shake it up. Shake it up. I'm gonna leave these in here. I'm just kind of agitating it right now, just to start. Now you can see the color has changed somewhat. It's gotten a little cloudy. It was clear. Now it's a hazy color, so it's starting to break that oil down. So we'll just park them to the side, and we'll park that to the side for later use. Actually, you know what? I'll put the bag back over top. I'll put the bag in the bag, and I'll leave them there just to set up. All right, pop them there. Cool. So another thing that makes this kit cool is that they come with an adapter to run mod 6 gears, and they actually have a way so you can actually use like 48 pitch gears or 32 pitch gears. Anything you can bolt to this 4-bolt hub right here. All right, so it comes with 2 spur gears, comes with the metal alloy out drives for the center drive shaft. All right, it actually comes with the alloy drive shaft versus the plastic one that they normally use in this kit. Do they have it in here? They may not even include it in the parts tree because they gave you the metal one. They gave you everything else, but they didn't give you that. That's cool. I don't need it anyway. So let's leave that to the side. Actually, you know what? Let's take these plastics. We're going to throw them back in the box. Because as of right now, half the stuff's not going to be in use. Alright, so next up, they give you aluminum rear uprights. You get some blue aluminum ball studs. And you also get adjustable turnbuckles. I think the regular kit comes with adjustable turnbuckles. Oh, this also comes with different axles. Normally these come with plastic axles and plastic out drives on the diffs. So that's something that I'm very happy to give you and include in this kit, because if you bought these parts separately, I think this thing's like $157, I believe. I think I paid like $155 or something like that for it. The regular TT-02 kits are around like 120, 130 bucks, depending on the body variant. That kind of dictates the price. So for an extra 30, 40 bucks, you're gonna get rear uprights, the spool, and also you get, these don't look like much, right? These are oil-filled shock caps. So these actually have oil-filled shocks. So they give you the oil on the package right here. So that's another good thing instead of using those friction shocks. All right, so here's the adjustable turnbuckles. You get blue aluminum wheel nuts. Get some body clips in there. You also have your diffs. Now the SRX comes with oil-filled diffs. This doesn't come with the oil-filled diffs, but I got something for that. Got this goodie bag over here. All right, so let's see. Let's see what we got in the goodie bag. Boom. We got option part 1649 TT-02 differential locking block. So what I'm going to do is, instead of having an oil-filled differential where I can use a thicker oil to get the diff action I want, I'm actually going to lock this car up. So you already see that we have, this is a spool. So the car is going to have no center diff. It's going to be a spool in the center, direct drive through the shaft. Then we're going to have a locker in the front. But wait, there's more. Because guess what? I got another locker for the rear. So I'm going to have this car completely locked. Now I might build these diffs here, just so that when we do the course racing portion of it, I can actually turn. Because with these right here, you're not going to be able to turn. But this is going to allow the car to have ultimate traction going forward. There's going to be no wheels lifting, well, not lifting, but diffing out to apply traction to one wheel versus another. You're going to prioritize it. So I'm going to put this to the side for now. I'm going to figure out what I'm going to do with those. All right. So I also got some gears. All right. So I went shopping for some gears before I even got the car. I'm not sure what I'm going to use. Those screws don't mean nothing. All right. Gears. Boom. Alright, I also have this servo mount right here. Option 1977. So So this is aluminum servo mount. This is going to hold the servo a lot better than the plastic that would normally come in the kit. I'm a firm believer in anything that kind of holds the bearing or is kind of important to actually do any type of work, to have it in aluminum. Helps you withstand hits better than normal. If you have plastic, the stuff deforms, it does all types of weird things, so we're just trying to get around that. Alright, so I got two options here. I'm going to run a gyro in this car, just because I find that anything I overpower on 10 scale usually has issue going straight. Not saying I can't tune the car, but you're overpowering this car probably 7 or 8 times more than was ever designed to do. So I like to put a gyro on just for added safety. So I can either use my Radio Master ER3CI with this gyro, or I can run this Radio Link R6FG gyro receiver. Now these, I like these, but the only issue is I don't have the range that I would have with this Radio Master receiver. This Radio Master receiver, I don't have to worry about it. I can go out of eyesight, never be a problem. Also, the thing I don't like about this one is it seems like using a Radio Master, it's very hard to adjust the gyro to be in a spot where it's effective enough not to cause oscillation. It seems like I have to be on like maybe, if it goes for a sweep of 0 to 100, I have to be on like maybe 10 or 15% for this to work effectively. Anything more, it seems like the car just starts going out of control. So I might just end up using these two together as an option. I have other stuff I can use too, but that's just what I have laying around on the table for that right now. Next up, I got servo. This is a Power Hobby LP250. This servo is ballistically fast. It has good torque specs. So you can look at the specs on the back. You know, it's 4.8 volts up into 8.4 volts. So it's a high voltage servo. Now, on these lower voltages at 6 volts, it does 0.09 seconds in transit speed at 60 degrees. At 7.4, it does 0.08 seconds, 60 degrees transit speed. And it keeps going down as the voltage goes up. So the operating speed fully at full voltage is 0.07 seconds. Like, this is on par with, like, you know, the Great Futabas and the Sandwire servos and, you know, all the high dollar ones. This thing was like 40, 50 bucks. And look at the torque. That's the only thing that's different about these. When you start getting into the higher servos that cost a lot more, you may end up with like 400 or 500 ounces of torque. But this is a 10 scale. We don't need that much torque. Now, if I'm running 8 scale or something like that, yeah, I would do something larger. But this right here, great servo. I love them. And also, they don't make noise like you get those other servos. Like some of the Futabas and Savoxes, they make a humming noise when the servo's trying to center itself. This thing's dead quiet. Love it. So you're going to use that. And also, here's a few gears I got. You know, these are RW Racing 64 pitch gears. So hopefully this fits the bolt pattern of the spool. If not, I'll probably have to use just 2 screws instead of 4. I was hearing that it's fine to use 2 instead of 4, but I would try to make sure I can at least drill the spool out if I have to and retap it to make sure I can use 4. So here's another RW gear that I can use. This is another gear that I can use, and I got some few other ones. I got Calandria Racing. I got some more Calandria Racing, and I also have a Kimbrough gear. I got some other gears coming in the mail as well. I got them coming from over the UK because I want to run 48 pitch or 64 pitch. So we'll see which one ends up being in the car long term. Gotta take a pause for the cause, man. Look, you don't know about these? Get you one. Man, these taste good. Some of my favorite soda. I shouldn't be drinking it, but really good. So this is parts to build the shocks as well. Got your lower spring perches, your eyelets. So that's going to be together. Now here is your steering link and your servo saver. This right here, I'm not using this. Like I said, half the stuff I have is aluminum. So I'm just kind of give you a breakdown of what I'm starting with. We'll get to the build section of things coming soon. I'm waiting for a few parts to be delivered. Once they're delivered, I'll start to actually build this thing and get it running. You know, well, not running, but get it going. And I'll take you step by step. So if you want to stay tuned, you know, come back, check it out. Hopefully you'll, you know, go with me on this journey to try to see how fast we can get this car to go. I believe The record's like 147 for these cars, which is like insane for such a small car that was never designed to do that at all. Plastic tub chassis, plastic gears. Like you look on here, this is all plastic gears. You know, like none of this stuff was ever intended for any type of speed, but guys are making it work. Now I know you can use the metal ring gear and the metal pinion out of the TT-01 as the direct drop-in. So that may be something that I actually try. I'm not sure, but I know we're gonna need these parts right here. So the rest of this we don't really need. We're gonna leave it in the package for now. So these will be your spider gears and your crown gears. So let's close that up. I may just do one thing here. Open up these spools and actually build the diffs real quick just to have those done. And it's kind of late. Like I think it's like maybe 11 o'clock right now. It's June 4th, 11:02 p.m. I got to be to work, but I'm here doing this for y'all because I want y'all to enjoy me building this car and seeing the progress of everything. I hope you guys are actually participating so that way we can all talk about our builds after everything's done, so we can like brainstorm and figure out how we can go further after the challenge is done. Because I don't think this is going to be a one and done type thing. I mean, hopefully not for everybody else. I know for me, I'm going to keep the car. I'm going to keep working on it to try to get it to do some numbers. But here's the instructions right here. It shows you're taking those spider gears out, and you're just going to actually lock that piece right in there. Now, what's cool about these too, most of the other diffs you ever built, they're going to have O-rings, and you're going to have a crown gear, you're going to have your output drive go in to a pin that locks into the diff cup. With these guys, they actually have it where it's slotted inside of here, so the actual drive cup fits into here, and that's what locks it in. So to build this is really simple. You're just gonna drop it directly into the spot. Now you see how it has grooves on it right here. I'm not sure if you can see them. You see it has those slots in there. They match up with the circles. There you go. They match up with the circles on the inside of the diff. So you just line those up. Oop, drop it in there, done. Now you would just take this, line up your holes here with those holes. Simple, done. That diff is locked up now. I'm gonna do the same thing with this one. Now another thing I like to do when I'm building kits, it's kind of weird, right? Anything I put on as a hop up, I fold these together, right? So I got two of these, so now I can keep track of what I've actually put into the car. I've put those in the box with it. So now if I ever do decide to sell the car, I can show you, hey, these are all the parts that I purchased for this car. This was on the car. If it's not on the car, it's inside the box. So you can kind of see what I spent. So that way there's no negotiating on, hey, well, I only want to pay this price for it. I'm like, that's fine. I'm only asking a small amount anyway. I wouldn't try to get full value back for what it is, but I like to show people what I actually put into the car. So it just gives everybody an at ease sale, and they understand that they're getting something exactly what they're looking for. That's just me. I got some builds, man. You got to see, like, I was doing mini Z's. I had stacks that were folded together. They were like this, maybe like 3 of them at one time. There was so many parts. But I don't mind buying parts for cars, especially when you're trying to run a car on a track or something. Like, you're going to need parts to tune. So I always say, if you spend money on something, it may not be what you want, but don't let that deter you from trying to find the parts that are going to work for you. Sometimes you find them in the first shot. Sometimes you got to do a little bit more research. Or sometimes you just have to drive and figure out what you like on the car. So every hop-up isn't a hop-up, especially in certain circumstances. If your driving skills aren't what they are, it's probably not going to be a hop-up for you. It's probably just going to be something that you bought that looks good on the car. So don't buy things because they look good. Just buy them because you need a certain type of part. You have to figure out what its intended use is going to be, and you should be a lot better off. Now, I was telling everybody that even if you build the stock TT-02 kit, they're going to come with, like Phillips heads looks like, but they're not. You have to get a craft tool set. Now, the reason why I say this is, it looks like Phillips heads, like I said, but they're JIS tips. So these are different than Phillips. They look the same, but you use a regular Phillips with these, you can strip them out really easily, and it'll be no fun. So pick one of these up. They're not that much money if you're going to build Tamiya kits. All right, so let's look at these screws, see what we got. So these are small little, looks like Phillips. We're gonna use those to seal the diff up. So what's cool about these too, they got like a little handle that your blade actually fits into, because the bigger this is, as far as width, you get more torque. All right, so this is fine for this application if you don't need that, but like I said, this is cool to have if you need it. Get yourself a little bit more torque in it. All right. Now going in the plastic the first time might be a little tight, so I just try to get a couple started, and then I go in a crisscross pattern just to make sure everything's getting tightened down evenly. Now I did order a screw kit for this too, because I'm so used to having hex hardware. Not to say that anything is wrong with the the JIS screws. Nothing's wrong with them. It's just that the standard nowadays is definitely going to be hex hardware. So I got some titanium screws coming, and that's also going to lighten the car up a little bit too. Not by much, but lighten up the drivetrain. Anything that's attached to that, if it's a lighter screw, it's better for that, especially for rotating stuff. All right, same thing. Now I'm going to lay everything out once I get all my parts, and it'll be like a step-by-step build where I'll do like the front end, and then I'll do like the rear end, then I'll do the suspension, and then I'll do like a motor install, ESC install. And then after that, we'll see how I start to do my process for alignments and getting the car weighted and making sure that everything is actually balanced on the car before I take it out. And also we're doing, you know, Tamiya bodies only. So that's going to be difficult in a way because they're really thin bodies. So they're going to deform under load. Well, under speed, I shouldn't say load. They're going to deform. So it's probably going to be a little bit different using those. So I'm probably going to reinforce the body with some casting tape, or I'll probably use like shoe glue and drywall tape. Now for a motor, I did get a motor. I have one here. 7700 Castle. My plan is to run this on 2S for the most part, and then if I get the speeds that are desired, then I'll hit it with the home run and hit it with 3S and see if I can go a little bit further. But I don't plan on doing anything more than that, even after the build's done, because we have rules that say that we're not allowed to do anything more than 3S. No, we're not allowed. We're allowed to use any tire for the speed run, but we have to use a Tamiya body and limit it to 3S. Any power system goes. If you can fit a TP-4070 in there, XLX2, have fun, do it. Whatever you can fit in there. If you can fit dual motors in there, go ahead, do it. Not gonna disqualify you because you decided to use those types of power plants. I think if you don't do it right, those would be a detriment because you're adding so much more weight. Not to say that weight's a bad thing in some ways, because in speed run, weight is actually good. From what I found, a light car tends to be a finicky car. A heavy car tends to drive a lot better because it's slower reacting and it doesn't want to blow over as easy. So I just tightened up all 4 of those screws. I wanted to make sure I didn't go too tight because this is plastic. You don't want to blow that out. So I got my spools done, front and rear. Let's put this away. All right, get rid of some of this trash. So, oh yeah, I'm gonna check out to see if these gears fit in there. That's the next thing I want to try. Yeah. So in here is where we have the out drives for that. So I might just crack this open just to get those out, to build those and put them in here. Let's see what we got here. Oh yeah, it's nice packaging for the stuff they give you in here. Like I said, this right here, these will probably be like, these are actually 3-degree input. They have these down to 0 and 1s and 2s, so you can get different ones. You don't have to use these. These are really made for more of keeping the car planted under load, keeping the car tracking straight. Now, the looser ones you get may give you more rear rotation. It just changes the suspension dynamics. But gonna leave that alone. We're gonna leave the 3-degree in it. So
I'm not going to make it much longer.
wheel stubs right here. Got your axles in the back with your dog bones. The fronts are, I believe, they're dog bones too. Yep, dog bones. So there's dog bones all around. They do make a CVA kit for these. I'm not turning, so I really don't care about the CVA kit. So let's get 2 of these out. Put those back in the bag so open parts don't fly everywhere. Same thing for this pack. Get those out. Alright. Put everything else back in here that you know came from this package. That way when we get to the instructions, we know exactly where we're at. I'm kind of just doing off the top of my head what I know will go places. Sometimes I can build kits without having to use the instructions. The only thing I really need them for most of the time is just to figure out which size screws go places, but sometimes that's kind of self-explanatory too. So once you build enough of them, it becomes a lot easier. That was another reason why I kind of wanted to do this challenge, because I know some guys on our chat don't really build kits, and I just wanted to get it away for everybody to kind of expand what they don't do. Like, we have some guys that don't paint, so we'll have guys painting that don't paint. We'll have guys that don't build kits build a kit. We have guys that may not speed run. They're going to do some speed run in some form, some shape, some form, shape, or fashion. Tongue twister for me. All right, so that's done. I also want to see if this gear fits. Now, these look like 48 pitch gears, but they're mod 6, so if you get this kit, please do not use a 48 pitch gear with the mod 6 gears that come in this kit. It won't end well. It's going to sound all bindy, and it just probably won't work that well. Probably end up stripping some stuff. Now, these are for your crown gears. These are going to go on the front and rear differential. So these are lightweight aluminum. They're going to basically sandwich your drive shaft just like that. Alright, so like I said, you got the aluminum adjustable motor mount. I have one that's going to be slotted. So this one's probably just going to be just thrown to the side for now. Alright, you got our hub. We end up with a spacer. So that's going to go over top of this. So that's going to space this out to accept this once the bearings are on it. So it's going to be a bearing, and then that's going to slide on to allow that slide to meet up with that pin hole. Once the pin is in there, that's going to rest on there. And then you have your gear that's going to slide on top of that. So they give you a few different ones in here, which this one has a slipper pad. But what size is this one? It doesn't say. It doesn't say what size it is. But I know this one is a 68. This one seems like it's a little bit smaller. Yeah, it's a bit smaller. It's not a 68. Yeah, it's 68 too. So this might be like a 64. So it feels like somewhere around there. I don't see the pin in this particular package. But we're not really worrying about that anyway. We're just trying to see if this gear is going to fit onto this hub, and if we can use all the screw holes. I see 2 screws so far. 4 screws is not going to work with this particular gear. But this is metal, so I kind of want to use metal because we're running with the smaller gears. I'm trying to get as much strength in the drive line as possible. But also with these gears, they're a lot quieter because the smaller the module, the less noise they make. Now, Mod 15s aren't really noisy if you get them adjusted well, but these cars are damn near silent with the 64 pitch gears. I run them on my X-ray Tim scale, and that car, you hear wind more than you actually hear the gear train. So this is a Kimbrough gear. 64 pitch. Looks like we have same thing, 2 screws. So I guess that's what we're running with, running 2 screws and everything. But this one is a 76 and this one is a 78. So we got some variations in range because we can't just run one set of gears. So I'll just put this stuff back in the package. Now that I know what's happening with that. So I can't wait for the rest of my parts to be delivered so I can really start, wrenching on this thing, getting it together. It's gonna be a fun build. It's gonna be a fun little challenge to have everybody chatting amongst ourselves, talking our stuff to each other as men usually tend to do. That's why I want everybody that is out there that watches our chat every Sunday or our wrench sessions on Fridays to get involved. That way you can get into this as well, and we all going to respond to you and just going to have fun. But that's probably going to be it for now. I'll come back with part 2, and we'll get everything going. Peace.